In this Studio 5 special, we travel to the land of 1,000 hills to see Rwanda, Wakanda, and Hollywood unite to change lives and rise after genocide.
And welcome to Studio 5. This week we're in Kigali, the capital city of Rwanda, taking a look at the country in the world of entertainment as it marks its 25th anniversary of being liberated from genocide. We're here at the Hotel Mikoline. It was made famous in the film Hotel Rwanda. So let's begin our countdown of Rwanda in Hollywood right now. At number 5.
Take a long, hard look. Remember it.
Take a look at this. Take a good, hard look. This is what they did to me.
Michaela Cole takes viewers on a journey from London to Paris to Rwanda in the Netflix series Black Earth Rising.
You play a character who is dealing with very real trauma of being a genocide survivor.
You have a British passport and you're my daughter.
I don't know my own name. The only thing I know is that it happened to nearly 1 million people, and I will never forget it, and neither should anyone else.
This deeply personal search to uncover her past first aired on the BBC and now streams on Netflix.
In 1994, at least 800,000 people were killed in 100 days, and how did I not know that? So it begins there, and it's about the consequences of the genocide.
At number 4.
If there's one place on earth that might serve as a test case, it's Rwanda.
Rwanda's very real road to recovery from genocide brought Morgan Freeman and the National Geographic Channel to the country for The Story of Us.
The genocide ended when Tutsi General Paul Kagame's rebel forces seized the capital, Kigali. 6 years later, Kagame was elected president, an office he still holds. And today, more than 2 decades on from the genocide, there has been no return to violence.
We have a lot of places to point fingers, but that doesn't help. What helps is confronting this situation as we should.
And so begins our countdown. We'll get to number 3 in just a little bit. As we said, we are here in Rwanda this week, taking a look back as the country marks 25 years since being liberated from genocide. With this horizon, it is easy to see why Rwanda is called the land of 1,000 hills. More than half of the population makes a living farming these lush lands. In 1994, however, this water-soaked soil became a tribal killing ground. An estimated 800,000 Rwandans murdered in just 100 days, mainly Tutsis at the hands of radical Hutus. The tension between the tribes stemmed from Belgian colonizers dividing Rwandans by ethnicity. It's hard to tell Rwanda's genocide story without a stop here at the Hotel Mikoline. It served as a refuge for some 2,000 Rwandans during those 100 dark and bloody days. The hotel was also made famous in the film Hotel Rwanda.
Listen to me, good people of Rwanda.
This scene recalls April 6, 1994, the moment that ignited the genocide.
Horrible news. Our great president is murdered by the Tutsi cockroaches. They tricked him to sign their phony peace agreement. Then they shot his plane from the sky.
The truth about who shot down the president's plane is still not known, but the violence that followed will never be forgotten.
They took my child and they cut her in 2 pieces.
April 29, 1994. Alice Makarinda lost her arm, her child, and nearly her life.
We would either hide under the dead bodies when we heard them come to start shooting, or dig a place to hide.
Scars mark the beating and mutilation Alice endured after soldiers found her and her baby in hiding.
The water swept away my baby's body, and they put me somewhere where there was no water. But I was pretty much dead.
Many in Alice's small town of Nyamata did not survive. This used to be a place of worship. Today, it's a memorial for the roughly 2,000 slaughtered here while seeking refuge. Their clothes and bones on display, a reminder of the dark time in Rwanda's history. Genocide ended in July 1994. World Vision was on the ground with first aid, food, and medicine. it also played a major role in reconciliation.
You cannot think of long-term development if people are disconnected.
Father John Bosco Tuahira applauds the government's move to partner with faith organizations to help the country heal.
We took the Word of God to prisons, to communities, to areas where victims and survivors were. We took the Word of God everywhere to make a difference.
Forgiveness isn't easy. He understands the struggle.
The person who killed my grandmother is the one who currently works on our farms. We forgave him and we share. It was difficult at first, but slowly by slowly, people started seeing that forgiveness and asking for forgiveness is what would actually help us rebuild our nation.
And people here in Rwanda won't soon forget the genocide their country endured. There are more than 230 memorials. Still ahead.
I care! I care! I am trying to create a legacy for our family.
It's not just a legacy of laughter for this Hollywood star.
Yes! That's right! That's right!
How dare you!
See how Patricia Heston splashes smiles on the faces of many right here in Rwanda.
CBN presents The I Wills of God, your path to overcoming fear and anxiety.
We're going to talk about some of the incredible promises God has made to His children.
In Pat Robertson's newest teaching, you'll discover the I wills of God. I will rescue him, protect him, answer him, be with him in trouble, deliver him, honor him, satisfy him with long life, show him my salvation, and see amazing stories of God's promises in action.
What I felt was loved and treasured.
God spared my life twice in 3 days.
The good Lord had given me a second chance.
Break free from stress and despair.
The Lord doesn't want you to live in fear, but to know the rewards given to those who love God.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or visit cbn.com. The I Wills of God, your path to overcoming fear and anxiety.
Remember for a moment what it was like to be a child. You believed every story you were told. You saw a world full of endless possibilities. What stories will the world's orphaned and at-risk children believe? We believe the Bible tells the only story truly worth believing. We believe that every child should have the opportunity to dream, the chance to take challenges and turn them into possibilities, the chance to stand on the promises of God, to recognize their place in the greatest story ever told. They have their whole lives ahead of them. Theirs is a world of endless possibilities. They are looking for a story to believe. We will tell them that story. Will you join us?
Hi, I'm Patricia Heston in Rwanda with World Vision, and you're watching Studio 5.
And welcome back to Studio 5. We are in Rwanda this week as the country marks the 25th anniversary of its liberation from genocide. We're at the Panorama here at the Hotel Mikoline, made famous in the film Hotel Rwanda. Let's continue our countdown of Rwanda in Hollywood. At number 3.
There is a train that's headed straight to Heaven's Gate.
This is Sheryl Crow's new recording of Redemption Day.
For Redemption Day.
First written in the 1990s after she returned home from entertaining the troops in Bosnia. And there's also inspiration from Rwanda.
When I came home, I was just deeply affected, not only having played for all these young faces, but also just having seen this war-torn area, and yet on TV, all the coverage was on Rwanda and the genocide.
Fire rages in the streets and swallows everything it meets.
It's a blended duet with the late country music legend Johnny Cash.
And it was just really asking the question of why. Why do we go into some areas and other areas we don't?
At number 2.
Habibi, come close, sweetie.
That's the voice of Benjamin Mugisha, known as The Ben. Rwandans love this native son, who now lives in the United States. And he will represent Rwanda at the next One Africa Music Fest, scheduled for August in New York.
And you know I never lie. Oh, no, 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 no.
And that leaves only one more headline in this week's countdown. We'll get to that in just a bit. Patricia Heston is possibly best known for her roles in The Middle and Everybody Loves Raymond. Well, she's also hard at work in Rwanda with World Vision. We caught up with her for this Studio 5 sit-down.
They'll say I like it, I say yes, sister.
Yes, sister. I like it. Patricia Heston's earned her star in Hollywood and in the hearts of fans, making millions laugh.
If I'm the one that has to do the laundry, why should I be the one to drag that thing upstairs, huh? Isn't the man supposed to carry stuff? Isn't that the manly thing to do, huh?
As Deborah, 9 years on the CBS hit series Everybody Loves Raymond.
We are going to do something as a family. We are eating defrosted pot pies from the Frugal Hoosier and watching Dance Moms.
And for 9 years as Frankie on the ABC hit The Middle.
We will have left a mark on the world, and whatever that mark is, it has to fit into this freaking box!
Away from the bright lights of the big and small screens, Patricia Heston is making her mark on the world. Like visiting these women in Rwanda, in this village, working with the humanitarian organization World Vision. How many World Vision trips would you say you've taken?
Rwanda is my 4th. I've been in Zambia, Jordan, and Uganda.
What keeps you coming back?
Well, what I've always loved about World Vision is the long-term impact that it makes, the transparency that the organization has, and every time I come back, I see more and more people lifted out of poverty, women getting educated. There's just all kinds of work that goes on, and every time I come back, I see the progress.
What have you been able to witness since being here in Rwanda?
We got to see a lot of economic development today, and as you know, Rwanda had the terrible genocide in '94, and not only were the people decimated, but the infrastructure, the whole country was decimated, and they were really starting from the ground up. And it's amazing to see, first of all, how beautiful Rwanda is, how green and lush, and to see what, through the Rwandan government's partnership with World Vision, what has been achieved here, especially economically, and with women. Starting businesses, starting savings clubs, being able to make enough money as a community to pay the fees to send their children to school, to buy medical insurance, to improve their homes, starting businesses like making baskets and sewing, buying livestock and selling them. So it's really been amazing to see the economic development starting from the ground up with the help of World Vision and the Rwandan government.
How would you say visits like these change you?
I think, you know, when you come on these visits, you see how much wonderful stuff is happening in the world and how a small donation from you can change not just one person's life, but many people's lives. A whole country can change because of your donation. And I think we need to see that more, because sometimes with the atmosphere in our country right now, you can feel like things are terrible. You might feel depressed or despair, but you know, every time I come here, I just see that there's so much good in the world, and there's so many people that need help, and that just a small amount from any of us can really change a person's life.
And Patricia Heston isn't only hard at work with World Vision, she has got a new comedy series coming to CBS. We'll keep an eye out for Carol's second act. And still to come from Rwanda.
It's never gets old.
A look at the Wakanda connection to the motherland.
I had to go to the continent, you know, for the first time, and spend some time there. I went by myself, you know, and it opened up, you know, a lot of things.
It's about the competition.
I kind of put that pressure on myself, and I think people had expectations.
It's about overcoming.
We use this phrase all the time: keep chopping, keep practicing hard.
It's about going the distance.
You know, I think as a father, it's my job, you know, to lead. Just be the best husband and father I can be.
Watch Going the Distance with Sean Brown Saturday night at 7:30 on the CBN News Channel.
book fans, here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
Millsburg Falls man coming.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes too, and so much more. Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
Discover the I wills of God. I will rescue him, protect him, answer him, be with him in trouble, deliver him, honor him, satisfy him with long life, show him my salvation.
What I felt was loved and treasured.
God spared my life twice in 3 days.
The good Lord had given me a second chance.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or visit cbn.com. The I wills of God, the latest teaching from Pat Robertson.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs, from health to entertainment, you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place, from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Check your local listings or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
And welcome back to Studio 5. We have made it to the final headline in this week's look at Rwanda in entertainment. At number 1, we bring it right back here to the Hotel Michelin, a spot made famous to the world in the 2004 film Hotel Rwanda, starring Don Cheadle.
Sir! We've got trouble at the gate.
Based on the true story of a brave man's act to save his family and more than 1,000 refugees, providing them with shelter.
What is your name? Rusese Begina. All Rusese Begina. I'll remember you. I'll remember you. Let's go.
And that wraps the countdown and brings us to an even more expansive look at Rwanda in Hollywood. Here's a question for you. How much of Rwanda is in Black Panther's Wakanda?
We are home.
Prince T'Challa's return home to the fictional African country Wakanda is an unforgettable scene in the blockbuster film Black Panther.
This never gets old.
And so is this. The mountainside chant before T'Challa faces the challenge to his throne.
I, Zuri, son of Badu, give to you Prince T'Challa, the Black Panther.
This is the work of director Ryan Coogler, who traveled to Africa for the inspiration to complete the project.
I had great collaborators, but I had to get right with myself. I had to go to the continent, for the first time and spend some time there. I went by myself, and it opened up, a lot of things, man, both for the film, a lot of things for the film, but even more so for like, I think, insight into myself, and questions that I had about myself and my own identity.
So was this film self-identifying for you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Bullet wounds don't just magically heal overnight.
They do here, but not by magic, by technology.
The technology of Wakanda inspires comparisons to real-life Rwanda.
Wakanda is real. There is a country where more than 90% of the population is covered by health insurance. Drones bring medicine to even the most rural parts of the country. This country can be found in the heart of Africa. It's real-life Wakanda. This place is called Rwanda. And actually, it's only a few hundred miles away from where fictional Wakanda is supposed to be.
The medical futurist Bertolan Mesco isn't alone in seeing Rwanda in Wakanda.
Marvelous. Like Wakanda, Rwanda is a small country, and it's gorgeous.
Take a look. There is simply no denying the beauty of the land of 1,000 hills.
If that's not some Wakanda realness here, I don't know.
And then there's Rwanda's economy. It's one of the fastest growing in Central Africa and praised around the world.
Just over 2 decades ago, the Central African country Rwanda was crippled by genocide, reeling after the slaughter of up to 1 million people. The infrastructure, the economy completely shattered. Well, with order and stability now, this country is hailed as a model of transformation.
I think if you'd said to anybody after the genocide that Rwanda would be as peaceful and stable and prosperous as it is today, people would have laughed at you back then.
And so, from Rwanda,
Well, certainly hope that will hold you until we finally get Black Panther 2. As you know, music fuels the production of this show, so we thought we'd feature a Rwandan artist. His name is Medi, and his Slowly is what's playing in my ear.
I might lose my mind. The beat's too much here. Can we go slowly? 'Cause I can't take it. 'Cause I can't take it. 'Cause I can't take it. 'Cause I can't take it.
It's taken a quarter of a century for this day to come. The story when Studio 5 from Rwanda continues.
As the world watches from the outside,
it's a big diplomatic tug-of-war here in the Middle East.
Go inside the story with Jerusalem Dateline.
Israeli archaeologists are talking about a discovery that could change the thinking about the Temple Mount.
Join CBN Jerusalem Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell and get the biblical perspective on the events shaping the world.
What starts in Israel then ends up going to other places.
Watch Jerusalem Dateline, Friday night at 9:30 on the CBN News Channel.
Orphans Promise is committed to loving and serving at-risk children, to helping keep families together, and to creating opportunities for strong and sustainable communities around the world. We're working in over 60 countries around the world, and with your help, we can do even more. There's an old African proverb I love that says, if you want to run fast, run alone. But if you want to run far, run together. At Orphans Promise, we want to run far so we can touch the lives of as many orphaned and vulnerable children as possible. But we don't want to go alone. We're out to change the world, one child, one family, one community at a time. Will you join us?
Meet the pastors who are preaching the gospel in a fresh, fearless way. I'm Roberto Torres-Cedillo. Join me each week for Next Gen Voices. And watch God transform a generation.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs, from health to entertainment, you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Check your local listings or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
And welcome back to Studio 5, coming to you this week from the land of 1,000 hills, Rwanda. It's time now to say it in pictures. Here's this week's Studio 5 snapshot. It's been 25 years since the people of Rwanda suffered through genocide. Still, just this past Saturday, May 3rd, the remains of nearly 85,000 people murdered at that time were laid to rest in a somber ceremony in Kigali, a quarter of a century after the massacre. These images are this week's Studio 5 snapshot. And with that snapshot, it is time to look ahead to see what we're working on for you for next week. Studio 5 is on set for the latest chapter of A Dog's Journey. So what's your favorite part of shooting this film?
It's a rough life for a dog. All treats and belly rubs.
And sitting down with the four-legged stars.
Still think you got one in you, boss dog.
Dennis Quaid, big star. What's your favorite part of working with him?
Oh, I love Dennis. He's my favorite person to play catch with.
It's a behind-the-scenes treat you won't want to miss. If you could have your choice of a favorite food, what would it be?
Bacon, bacon, bacon. Popcorn.
Hi, Gloria.
It's good to see you.
Ethan and Hannah, finally! Well, hello. Who is this? Hello?
Ethan, it's me, Bailey.
We all love watching this film and we're crying. How did you feel about it?
Oh, I had a blast. Are you kidding me?
That story and so much more is coming up next week. Certainly hope you'll join us for that. As for the final word for this show, coming to you from Rwanda, we're giving that to the program director for this country's largest humanitarian organization. It's a lesson in forgiveness.
Forgiveness has been one of the cornerstones of bringing this country where we are today. Without forgiveness, we could have experienced revenge. Without forgiveness, we could have gone through the same cycle of killing one another. Without forgiveness, we couldn't experience the healing we have. Forgiveness gives back life. When I land to this city, I see hope. I see brightness. I think tomorrow. That was not my initial thoughts in 1994. We're just looking for today, and that's it. But today we are able to think tomorrow.
The bottom line here is forgiveness frees you. That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5, coming to you from the capital city of Rwanda, Kigali. Until next time, make time to uplift someone else, and then you come on back and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.